Alright, so my favorite fighter, Dustin Poirier, just lost a unanimous decision in his retirement fight to Max Holloway, and as much as I would have loved to have seen him go out on a win, it just wasn't meant to be. Of course, I don't think that this undoes the legacy that he built or the banger fights that he's left behind, and the fact that he got to retire in his home state of Louisiana was a nice touch that the UFC really didn't have to do. But damn it, man, this guy was so close to going out on a win, but instead he went for another dumbass guillotine attempt, which makes him like 0-74 when it comes to actually hitting the sub in a fight. Now, I had a lot of doubts on how Max would look in this one, seeing as how he was brutally finished in his most recent fight not too long ago, and I gotta say, I think he looked better than ever on Saturday. This was one of those fights where I didn't want to see either guy lose, but if there had to be a winner, I was rooting for Dustin. Regardless, it was a great fight, and even though I think it was a little bit more one-sided than a lot of people are willing to admit, I'm happy that Dustin was given the flowers he deserves by the UFC and the fans as he starts the next stage in his life. However, for as good of a performance as Max put on, I can't help but feel like the real winner of this fight was actually Ilia Topuria, and yeah, in this video I'm going to be talking about all this and more. But first, let's talk about the fight itself, because like I said just a moment ago, I'm not sure if I agree with a lot of people's scorecards on this one. Round 1, I definitely scored for Max. The speed advantage was very noticeable right off the bat, and in true Holloway fashion, he fought to bury Dustin underneath his volume. The fact that Max scored 2 knockdowns in this round is a real testament to how much the power in his hands have increased. In their last fight, Max actually commented in between rounds that he struggled to get his punches through Dustin's guard, but in this fight, he and his team did a great job at manipulating his hands and arms in order for Max to land the right hand. Second round seems to be a round that most people score for Dustin, but I don't know, man. On the night of the fight, I still gave this one to Holloway, and after rewatching the fight, I still think Max won it. He was landing more often, more clean, and he straight up nearly finished Poirier after a big flurry against the cage, which forced him to shoot for a takedown. Honestly, I have no idea how Max didn't get the finish while he had Dustin's back. Dustin was able to get the fight back up to the feet, where he drops Max with a 2-punch combination, and instead of trying to finish the fight with strikes, this dude seriously went for the guillotine again. I don't understand this guy, man. What is his bizarre infatuation with the guillotine? In 41 professional fights, he has never submitted anybody with it. I don't care how good he thinks his guillotine is, and I don't care how many of his training partners he taps with it in the gym. This was a dumb thing to do. I'm sure there are some of you guys out there who can relate, but the fact that I had to watch my favorite fighter be on the verge of possibly securing a TKO win in his retirement fight just for him to jump the gilly was so frustrating.
Win the fight.
I mean, yeah, I was pretty hurt, bro. I can't say nothing, you know. At the end of the day, I was calm, I was cool. I was just chilling, so I was happy that we got it done over there.
Yeah. If he didn't go for that guillotine and kept punching, would he maybe have you in real trouble there?
I don't know. I don't know. I couldn't tell you, you know. But when he grabbed my neck, I was like, not today, sir. Not today, bro. You ain't getting your bronze statue in front of your house. Not on me, bro.
I hate to say it, I really do, but this was a pretty low fight IQ moment. And I know that Dustin was saying during fight week that if he had Max hurt, he'd go for the guillotine, but come on, man. You could have won if you just kept punching. Talk about snatching defeat from the jaws of victory, and maybe Dustin wouldn't have been able to put Max away with punches, but it was definitely a better option than going for the guillotine, which we all know has been so successful for him throughout his career. Regardless, even in spite of knocking Max down, I still don't think it was enough to win the round. I mean, maybe if he kept trying to land damage on him, it would have been enough, but seeing as how Max outlanded him in the first half of the round and nearly finished Dustin himself, I can't help but score this round for Holloway. And let me just make it quick and easy from this point forward. I scored the last 3 rounds for Max as well. Yes, on the night of the fight and upon a rewatch, I have it 5-0 Holloway. I wanted to see Dustin win, I was rooting for him to win, but besides the second round, I just have a hard time seeing how Poirier won any other round. I'm definitely surprised that the one judge who scored it 48-47, and if you scored the 4th round for Poirier, then I respect your opinion, but I just don't see it that way. At the very best, this fight was 4 rounds to 1 in favor of Max, and I get the feeling the circumstances surrounding this fight kinda swayed not just the fan scorecards, but the judges' scorecards as well. And maybe I'm just a bad judge, but this wasn't even a 49-46 in my book. It was 50-45.
But felt like you were more annoyed and like pissed off about the result.
Yeah, I mean, obviously I wanted to win. Max is a great fighter, tough competitor. I just felt, you know, being inside the eye of the storm, it felt a lot closer to me. You know, I really thought it might have been 2-2 going into the 5th. Mike Brown checked the scorecards when we got to the locker room, and I think the judges gave me different rounds. So I don't know, you know, I think all the judges gave him the second round. I thought I almost had him out. He hurt me too, but I thought my shot was, when I followed up with elbows, I was cracking him. He told me in the medical tent, he said, man, you had me out.
Holloway controlled the pace of the fight and dictated almost every single engagement. The body kicks that he landed whenever Dustin tried to close distance was a really smart strategy to wear him down, and he never let himself get lured into an unnecessary brawl like he did in their previous fight. Also, can we talk about the fact that Max literally turns into Thanos in the final 10 seconds of a 25-minute fight? He might not be the very best in the world in a general sense, but once that final clacker goes off, this guy is fucking unbeatable. I am a bit disappointed that Poirier folded during during that sequence, and as much as I would have loved to have seen him end his career swinging for the fences, I get why he did what he did. Max's hand speed after fighting for that long is ridiculous, and I think even Dustin knew that it was pretty likely he could have ended his career looking like Justin Gaethje at UFC 300. Overall, it was a great fight. It's great for the lightweight division that Max got the win here, because if he lost to this version of Dustin, then that would not be good for his prospects at 155. But seeing as he got the win, then we're probably going to see him fight maybe Arman Sarukian, Charles Oliveira, or who knows, maybe even rematch Ilia Topuria in his next fight.
If it's Ilia, it's Ilia. If it's the guy that he just beat,
Oliveira.
Oliveira, I have history with him. The whole top 10, there's a lot of fun fights for me here at lightweight, and I'm excited.
Also, side note, does anybody think it was really dumb that Lil Wayne was the guy that put the BMF belt on Max? You might be asking if this is any more dumb than The Rock putting the belt on Jorge Masvidal, and yes, I think it is. Both were dumb choices, but at least The Rock is relevant today, whereas I haven't heard a song from Wheezy in years. Also, The Rock has shown that he's a fan of the UFC, and I'm pretty sure his ugly shoes are like the official shoes of the UFC or whatever. Hypothetically speaking, if I had to make the choice between having Dwayne The Rock Johnson or a 5'2" melanated hobbit put the BMF belt on me, I'm choosing Dwayne any day of the week. Dustin really did show signs of slowing down, and he's definitely not the fighter that he was a couple of years ago, but that's to be expected given how many miles in the tank that he's racked up. The guy has had a legendary career, and sure, he was never a champion level fighter, but he stayed at the top of his division for so long, and he never had a boring fight across 31 UFC fights. I do think that this was a good time for him to walk away from the sport, although in hindsight, I feel like it might have been one fight too late, but compared to all of these other guys who don't know when to call it quits, I'm not gonna fault him for wanting to retire in front of his home crowd. Another side note here, I thought that the video package the UFC made for Dustin wasn't very good. It wasn't bad by any means, but the way it was edited, along with the very out-of-place rap music, made it feel like it was a promo as opposed to a heartfelt send-off to a legend. Like, tell me why Anthony Smith's mediocre ass got a way better video than Dustin Poirier did. Obviously, this is just my opinion, but I thought it felt pretty flat. And as you can probably expect, almost every fighter on the roster has sent their congratulations and words of admiration to Dustin for capping off an incredible career, with the exception of one guy in particular, and that is Conor McGregor. He gave a really backhanded compliment to Poirier by calling him P-head at the end of one of his tweets, and I'm sure that Conor felt really clever by reviving an insult that he came up with over a decade ago at this point, just to take one last shot at a guy that beat him the last 2 times that they fought. Talk about salty. By the way, have you guys seen this newest addition to the Coked Up Conor Chronicles? But with all this being said, just how good is Ilia Topuria? Because as more time passes and as his previous victims continue to put on stellar performances against top-tier competition, I feel like his legacy just continues to age like a fine Spanish wine. It's crazy. He brutalizes Alexander Volkanovski, then Volk goes on to show that he's still a champion-level fighter by beating Diego Lopez in his next fight. Then he becomes the only fighter to ever knock out Max Holloway, then Max puts on one of his best performances against Dustin in his very next fight. And if Charles Oliveira can rebound from his KO loss to Topuria in a big way, then it only solidifies the run that Ilia is currently on. I don't want to make it seem like I'm trying to discredit what Volk or Holloway have done in their most recent wins or anything, but it's just the reality of the situation. Max and Alex are amongst my top 10 favorite fighters in the game right now, and even though it was sad to see them get KO'd by Ilia, the fact that they're still able to put on world-class performances against world-class fighters immediately after only makes Topuria look better. Because think about it, what other champion in recent UFC history has run through this level of opposition with this level of finality? He turned 2 of the best featherweights in UFC history into the characters from Toy Story whenever Andy walks into the room, and then they both come back to either win or defend their respective titles. And now if Charles Oliveira can rise from the dead, then we're looking at a run that doesn't just stand out for its dominance, but also for the quality of its victims. These are championship caliber fighters and Hall of Famers. Dustin wanted to fight Ilia for his retirement fight, and I think that we might be able to agree that it was probably for the best that the UFC made him take the Holloway fight instead. Dude, if I was Ilia on Saturday night watching Max's hand get raised, I'd probably have a huge smile on my face, because what dad wouldn't be happy watching his son succeed and make him look good? Anyways, that is the video for today. Definitely let me know what you think about Dustin Poirier's final fight. What was your scorecard for this one, and who would you pair up Holloway with for his next fight? As always, if you liked the video, then like the video, and if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do so. I appreciate you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.
Bro, how did we not get fight at night, bro? We didn't? No, that's some bullshit. Go tell fucking Dana. What? Take you tell me fucking man. Text his ass.
We didn't get it?
No, they gave it to freaking Allen and Matar. I don't even know. What? We done almost finished each other in the same damn round.
Yeah.
What the hell, bro?
Who got the belt? You're the champ.
Thank you, bro.
Hey, it was an honor, bro.
No,
It really was
honor
such an
yours.
honor. Your right hand hurt?
Fuck yeah, bro. I hit your fat fucking head, bro, with my thumb. I'm like, motherfucker, bro.
My fucking thumbs are hurting.
Yeah, my thumb hurting too, bro. Thank you. Hey, for real, let me know about the foundation.
Such a big fan of yours.
Let me know about the foundation.
Let me know if we can do something in Hawaii.
Yes.
I'd love to. We'll stay in touch. I'll hit you up. If there's something we can do, let's do it.
Thank you, brother. Please.
Have a good night.